Welcome to my YouTube channel, General Mind. Today our topic is about the future of food, how technology is transforming our plates. The year is 2050. You're sitting down to breakfast and reaching for your favorite food, bacon. But this isn't just any bacon. Right. This is lab-grown bacon. It has all the sizzle and crunch of the real thing without the cholesterol or the environmental impact. And while it might not look like your average bacon at first glance, the difference comes down to one simple fact. This bacon was grown in a lab, never touched a pig. Now, whether it's a burger that bleeds or chicken nuggets with no chicken, we've come a long way from the days when vegetarians had the market cornered on fake meats. In recent years, scientists have made significant progress in growing meat outside of a living animal, giving us a tasty glimpse into the future of food. So what exactly is going on? How does lab-grown meat work? And why are so many big players getting involved? To answer these questions, we need to take a trip back to 2013, the year scientists first cultivated the world's first lab-grown burger. The process started with a small sample of muscle tissue taken from a cow. The cells were then placed in a nutrient-filled broth, where they began dividing and growing. Over time, these cells fused together to form muscle fibers, which were then given a scaffold to grow around. This scaffold is important because it provides the cells with the structure they need to grow into a three-dimensional piece of meat. After several weeks, the result was a 142-gram burger patty. It may not sound like much, but considering that each burger required only a biopsy punch worth of cells, that's a pretty impressive feat. So how do scientists turn a few cells into a burger? It starts with the cells themselves. Muscle tissue is made up of muscle stem cells, which can divide and differentiate into various types of muscle cells. In the case of a burger, the cells need to become myocytes, which are the cells responsible for contraction in the heart and skeletal muscles. Once the cells have differentiated into myocytes, they need to be given a scaffold to grow around. A scaffold is essentially a framework that provides the cells with the support they need to grow into a three-dimensional piece of meat. It can be made from a variety of materials, including natural polymers such as collagen and synthetic polymers, such as polyurethane. The scaffold is important because it helps to ensure that the meat grows evenly and doesn't break apart when handled. Once the cells have been given a scaffold, they are grown in a nutrient-rich broth that contains amino acids, vitamins, and other essential nutrients. The broth also contains growth factors, which are proteins that promote cell division and differentiation. The cells are grown in an incubator at a constant temperature and humidity for several weeks until they have formed a large enough mass to be harvested. At this point, the meat can be removed from the scaffold and processed into a variety of shapes and sizes depending on the desired end product. For example, a burger patty would be formed by flattening the meat into a sheet and punching out discs. Chicken nuggets would be formed by cutting the meat into small pieces and then breading and frying them. There are several advantages to growing meat in a lab. First, it is a more efficient use of resources. Unlike traditional animal agriculture, which requires vast amounts of land, water, and feed, lab-grown meat can be produced in a controlled environment using a fraction of the resources. Second, it is more sustainable. Animal agriculture is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, accounting for 14.5% of global emissions. Lab-grown meat production has a much smaller carbon footprint, making it a more environmentally friendly option. Third, it is potentially healthier. Lab-grown meat can be produced without antibiotics or hormones, making it a more natural and healthy option for consumers. Additionally, it can be tailored to have a lower fat content or other desirable qualities. Fourth, it can help alleviate animal welfare concerns. By growing meat in a lab, we can reduce the demand for animal agriculture, which results in the suffering of billions of animals each year. Lab-grown meat is still in its early stages, but there are already a number of companies working on bringing it to market. One of the most well-known is Memphis Meats, which was founded in 2015. The company has raised millions of dollars from investors, including Bill Gates, and has developed a variety of lab-grown meats, including burgers, sausages, and chicken nuggets. Another company, Upside Foods, has developed a process for growing whole cuts of meat, such as steaks and roasts. The company has partnered with a number of major food companies, including Tyson Foods and Hormel Foods. The future of food is looking more exciting than ever before. As technology advances, we can expect to see even more innovative ways to produce meat and other food products. From lab-grown meat to plant-based meat alternatives, there will be a variety of options available to meet the needs of consumers. Whether we'll see lab-grown meat on our plates anytime soon remains to be seen. There are still a number of challenges that need to be overcome, including developing a cost-effective way to scale up production and getting regulatory approval. However, the potential benefits of lab-grown meat are too great to ignore. As the technology advances, we may see this innovative way of producing meat become more common in our daily lives. So what do you think? Would you try lab-grown meat? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest in science and technology. Thanks for watching. See you next time. In the US, someone is killed every 10 minutes by an antimicrobial-resistant infection. That's 36,000 people dead every year. And if left unchecked, this number could rise to 10 million people dead per year by 2050. This threat is so serious that the World Health Organization has called antimicrobial resistance one of the biggest threats to global health, food security, and development today. Now, how did we get here? Well, for decades, we've relied on antibiotics to treat bacterial infections. But overuse and misuse of these drugs has led to a new generation of bacteria that are no longer susceptible to antibiotics. This means that common infections can become deadly, and simple surgeries can turn into life-threatening events. And it's not just hospitals that are affected. Antibiotic resistance is on the rise in everyday settings too. For example, a recent study found that 30% of women in the US carry antibiotic-resistant bacteria in their vaginal microbiome, and this can lead to serious complications during pregnancy. But there is hope. A new company called Centera is developing a new way to fight antibiotic resistance using bacteriophages. These are viruses that infect and kill bacteria, and they've been around for millions of years. What's more, they are incredibly specific. Each type of bacteriophage infects only one type of bacteria. This makes them a powerful tool for fighting antibiotic-resistant infections. And unlike antibiotics, they don't kill off beneficial bacteria, which can lead to side effects like diarrhea and weight gain. That's why I'm excited to announce that this video is brought to you by Science for the People. Their mission is to empower the next generation of scientists and engineers through hands-on learning experiences.